Hi, it's Dawn from Ninja Bunny Crochet. Today we're going to make some fingerless gloves, just like what was in the picture. Here are the gloves, and they look like on your hand. What I use to make these gloves is Studio Stitch Classic by Nicole. This is a medium weight 4 yarn. It's 100% acrylic, 260 yards in the skein, and the color I used was called Wood Mix. You do not have to use this same yarn. You could use any medium weight 4 yarn that you choose. I used approximately, this is the skein that I actually used to make the gloves with. I used about half the skein. So I would say you're going to use approximately 2.5 ounces of yarn to make one pair of gloves. So you can probably get 2 pairs of gloves out of one skein. So let's get started on making these fingerless gloves. To start our fingerless gloves, we need to start with a slip knot on our hook. I'm going to chain 13. So second chain from hook, we're going to single crochet. I'm going to single crochet across the chain. Okay, once we get to the end, chain 1 and turn. It'll work to start round 2. For round 2, you're going to single in the first stitch, and then we're going to single in the next 10 stitches in the back loop only. So here's your front loop, and here is your back loop. We're going to go in the back loop only for the next 10 stitches. And in the last stitch, you want to go through both loops and single crochet. Chain 1 and turn the work. Now again, you're going to go through both loops row 3, and then do your back loop only again, all the way across. You're going to continue repeating this back and forth until you have 24 rows. Once you have your 24 rows completed, I will meet back up with you. Remember that your first stitch and your last stitch are in both loops. The 10 stitches in between are in the back loop only. So we're creating this ridge for the cuff. So complete your 24 rows and I will meet back up with you. I'm at the end of round 24. We're going to do our last single crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to fold the cuff up so that round 1 meets up with round 24. Just like that. Turn the work, and then we're going to slip stitch round 24 to round 1. So insert your hook into the first single crochet of round 24 and the last single crochet of round 1 and slip stitch. And you're going to continue doing this all the way down the cuff in every stitch. Be careful to make sure that you have your stitches lined up so that your cuff is not crooked when you get down to the end. So continue doing this and I will meet with you at the end of this row. Okay, once we're at the end of the row, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to turn your cuff inside out and turn it around. Put your hook back inside. And now your seam looks just like another rib. So now to begin the glove part, we're going to put 1 single crochet in the end of each row. Now this tail, you can work over the top of the tail or you can pull it to the back and weave it in later on. I usually like to work over the tail because it just makes it a little bit easier and it's less having to weave things in at the end. But really, it's really up to you. It's your choice, however you are comfortable working. But just continue making 1 single crochet in the end of each row until you get back to the beginning, and you should have 24 single crochet when you get to the beginning, back to the beginning. I will meet up with you at the beginning or at the end of this round. I'm at the end of round 1, 24 stitches. We're going to single crochet into the first stitch that we made, chain 1, and for round 2, we're going to single crochet into that first stitch that we just slip stitched into, and then single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and the next stitch we're going to do a single crochet increase. And what that means is we're going to single crochet 2 times. So we're going to place 2 single crochets. Then we're going to repeat that. So we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Then single crochet, increase, which is single crochet, 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. Again, I'll repeat that one more time for you. Single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Then we're going to single crochet, increase, which is 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. Please repeat this pattern all the way around to the beginning, and I'll meet you up at the end of the round. Okay, we're at the end of round 2. We have 30 stitches, and we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet that we made. Chain 1, and begin round 3. We're going to single crochet back into that same stitch and single crochet our way around the glove. So we're going to single crochet into each stitch around. So please continue round 3, and I will meet up with you at the end of this round. All right, I'm at the end of round 3. Still have 30 stitches. We're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet. Now for rounds 4 through 12, we're just going to repeat round 3. So round 4 through 12 is a repeat of round 3, which is single crochet. So single in the first stitch and single in each stitch around. So again, rounds 4 through round 12 is just a repeat of round 3. So it's 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So please continue rounds 4 through 12, and I will meet back up with you at the end of round 12. We're at the end of round 12, and we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet. For round 13, you chain 1 and single into the same stitch. Now we're going to start the thumb hole. So you chain 5, and you're going to skip the next 5 single crochets and single in the next 24 stitches. And that will bring you back around to the beginning. So please continue round 13, and I will meet you at the end of the round. I'm at the end of round 13, and we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet. We still have 30 stitches. We're going to, for round 14, we're going to single in the same stitch, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet into each one of the chains above the thumb hole. then single in the next 24 stitches, and that will bring you back around to the beginning of the round. Please continue with round 14, and I will meet you at the beginning, or excuse me, at the end of round 14. I'm at the end of round 14, and we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet that we made. We still have 30 stitches. For round 15, we're going to start with a chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch. Now round 15 through round 17 are exactly the same as round 14. So they're a repeat of round 14. They're a single crochet in each stitch. So just as we were doing prior to the thumb hole, we are just going to do single crochet in each stitch around for round 15, 16, and 17. Please complete those rounds, and I will meet up with you at the end of round 17. We're at the end of round 17, and we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet. Now for round 18, chain 1 and single in the same stitch. This is going to be the scalloped edged round that we saw in our gloves in the beginning. Right here, this nice little scalloped edge. This will be our last round. Okay, so to do that, we do our first single crochet. We're going to skip the next stitch, and we're going to put 4 single crochets into the next stitch. Skip the next stitch and put a single crochet into the next. Skip the next stitch and 4 single crochets into the next. I'll do this one more time. Skip the next stitch and a single crochet into the next. Skip this one, 4 single crochets into the next one. Please continue this pattern all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 18. Okay, I'm at the end of round 18. I did my last single crochet, and we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet to finish off. And then all we're going to do is fasten off. Scissors, and then you can weave your end in, Now what I like to do when I weave my end in is make sure you weave it in back and forth a couple of times to make sure that it's not going to come out. And you want to weave it in on the wrong side of the work. So weave it in under a few stitches, like so. And this particular yarn is very forgiving as far as weaving it in, because with the multicolor, you don't see it at all. So you just weave it in back and forth a couple of times to lock it in so that it won't come out. You want to make sure you grab a couple of different fibers each time you go back and forth so that it won't come back. It will not come out. Then you can just snip it off. And you're done. And there is your gloves. And so you have your pair, just like that. And you can just slip them right on your hands, and away you go. So, if you like this tutorial, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my tutorials. Thank you for watching. Happy crocheting!